Hello, this is JinSwords bringing you my first Wi-Fi battle upload to YouTube, but before we get into that, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I upload Wi-Fi battles of every tier to bring you variety. I also do live Pokemon Online, some Pokemon Showdown, and even live playthroughs of games that my audience would like me to play. So, I will also be possibly uploading to the Mosh Pit. I will most likely be in beta. And, alright, so let's get into the battle. So, this was technically an OU battle, but I brought all UU stuff because I thought it would be a cool challenge. And, so he has a Genesect, which is OU, and a Gastrodon, which I believe is OU, but everything else is really lower tiers. But he does bring a Sand team, which, I do not bring any weather because this is a UU team, and I do not have my own Sand. And I have a standard Life Orb Ambipom, Life Orb Nidoking, Sub Dragon Dance, Kingdra, Scarf Chandelure, Scarf Cross, and Special Defensive Empoleon. So let's get into the battle. He leads out with his Genesect, and as I lead out with my Ambipom. This is alright. So I'm just going to go straight for the Fake Out. As he gets his special attack download boost, I go for the Fake Out, and he switches into his Swampert. Take the Fake Out. It does not take it quite well. I'm surprised. Swampert has very good natural bulk, so I thought this would maybe do a quarter damage, but this does a hefty third. Thinking that a return would not quite take it out, I went for a U-turn, and judging by the damage, I just still believe that return would have left him with a sliver of damage. So, now I go into my Kingdra, not knowing what he would want to do, but he goes for a Hammer Arm, which I do not see, I've never seen on a Swampert, so that's kind of cool. Lowers his speed, and judging by the HP, I still do have enough for a substitute, so I'm going to go for that now, because I know that I will outspeed a Swampert. So I go for the substitute. I live with 39 HP, and he brings in his Gastrodon. I'm going to set up a Dragon Dance here. My two offensive moves are Outrage and Waterfall. He most likely has the Storm Drain, so I'm not going to go for Waterfall after this. I will go for the Outrage to take him out. And, well, honestly, I didn't think that an Outrage would take it out, but he does have a Hippowdon, which could set up Stealth Rock, and after that my Kingdra would be useless, so might as well do whatever I can until then. So I go for the Outrage. It surprisingly takes out a full HP Gastrodon, which the Gastrodon is most likely special defensive or offensive. Now he goes into Shift Tree. I'm locked into Outrage, so there's nothing I can do. He goes for the Fake Out and takes me out. Now I go into my Ambipom to go for my own Fake Out. And here I get a crit. And the Fake Out takes him out. I'm not sure how much this mattered. It obviously did matter because a Fake Out from an Ambipom is not going to take out a full HP Shift Tree. But at the same time, I do not know if he had Sucker Punch, and Ambipom does outspeed all variants of Shift Tree. So, I don't know, maybe it did matter, maybe it didn't. Brings in his Hippowdon, get a little damage while I switch, go for U-turn, but he shows me he has the Rocky Helmet. So I'm going to be taking a lot more damage for each physical move I do on it, where I touch him. So I'm going to go into my Heracross to take a ground move, possibly, and he decides to set up Stealth Rocks. And I now go for Mega Horn. You might be surprised I went for Mega Horn over Close Combat, but I prefer Mega Horn because I didn't want a special defense/special defense drop. as I might need my Heracross for later. If he goes for Earthquake, a -1 Heracross would not, that -1 Heracross would not live that Earthquake, but at normal defenses it would live. But he decides to go for Whirlwind. Takes me back to my Ambipom. Now, I went for the Fake Out here. I did not believe that Rocky Helmet and Life Orb together would take me out. I thought I would be able to live with a little bit. I do get a crit. It obviously didn't matter. But now it gives me an opportunity to go into my back in my Moxie Cross, go for straight for the close combat, and take that Hippowdon down, knowing that he doesn't have anything else on his team that wants to take one. So after this, he's going to go into his Stoutland, and Stoutland does get the ability Sand Rush, which doubles its speed while Sandstorm is up. So he will be able to outspeed my Choice Scarf Heracross, but not wanting to go into my Empoleon just to see if it is banded or Life Orbed. But he does show me his Life Orb, so if I had gotten into my Empoleon, I would have taken a little bit of damage, and I would surely die from an Earthquake or Wild Charge. And my Heracross would still die to a return later. So he does go for the Wild Charge, but Empoleon being the boss that he is, he takes it. And now I'm in Torrent range, and I'll be able to get off a Scald, which actually, very surprisingly to me, does not quite take him out. But I do get the burn, so it ends up taking him out. So if I had gone into Empoleon earlier, I surely would not have lived that Wild Charge, and he probably would have gone for Earthquake, which would be even more powerful. So that was looking good for me. So now he has Swampert and Genesect left. He goes into Swampert, and I have nothing left to take an Earthquake, being I have an Empoleon, Nidoking, and Chandelure. So I'm just going to let my Empoleon out to die. He's a Genesect, which would obviously just take out my Empoleon. No use in saving it. Now I go into my Nidoking, knowing that I can outspeed it. And I go for the Earthquake. Earthquake. I go for the Earth Power, and takes him out. Now I have Nidoking and Chandelure against this Genesect. I thought this through quite well, which was one reason I sacked my Empoleon. But there is no move that Genesect gets that super affects one without not very affecting the other, if that makes sense. So he goes for Ice Beam, which super affects my Nidoking, but now it doesn't very affect my Chandelure. So now it depends on two things. If he's Scarfed, which you see here he isn't, because I do outspeed him, my Chandelure Scarf, and if I can hit the Fire Blast, I do hit the Fire Blast, and that is a good game. This is against a guy named ILoveLehz or something like that. His person's link will be in the description. Pretty cool guy. He doesn't upload. But alright, rate, comment, subscribe, and